Thank you very much, Brian. Yes, Virtus.pro up against Vici Gaming in this best of 3. Fogged, what are you looking forward to seeing from these two here out on the main stage?
Just a clash of two styles, really. I think that's what most people were even looking at just coming into this game. Even before we even saw the drafts, I think most people were expecting Vici to do Vici things. Play a little bit more of that slow-paced style. Wait till they start hitting their big later game timings. VP, they have changed a lot. Sure, they're still all about that fast-paced kind of lineup, all about that aggression, but they've gotten a lot more like just stable in the way that they hit their big timings, and then boom, they're not going to look to make a mistake. They're going to look to be a very clean game and just close it out. And hey, look at the draft, right? We have Bristle, Razor cores. Yeah. That's all about looking to get an advantage and end at a relatively early time. No,
yes, and sort of specifically the Bristle and the Pugna. You know, these are very much heroes that we haven't really seen other teams play with that much. Whereas Vici Gaming, on the other hand, their whole lineup. These heroes have sort of been played across the board. Silencer sort of more recently started to move up in value. A lot of teams starting to look towards that. But everything else from Vici Gaming, it's just sort of top heroes of the meta.
Yeah, especially like the Magnus that they slipped in later on in the draft, which we saw, of course, last series. It went up to first pick. It became the most high priority pick. So, yeah, we'll see how that's going to end up playing out. And we'll see if they, like they mentioned about timings, if Silencer does start to fall off too, right? Because I know they have, like, Vici's late game is extremely strong, but we've seen time and time again, Silencers around that 35-minute mark, they start to struggle, so I'm really looking forward to this series. And let's see how these lanes do play out, because I've been seeing so many times GPK, especially on Razor, lane dominator.
Sure.
That's just what he's been known as forever, especially into these melee heroes. Sure, Void Spirit, you've got ways to play around it in the mid game especially, but lane is still going to be quite complicated.
Absolutely, yeah. GPK definitely having himself in a situation to make Ori's early game rather hard. We'll see how well Ori plays himself into it.
And let's see how the Phoenix does too, because they did pick it relatively early because of that Tiny. We know people have been talking about the matchup because of attack speed, slow, Sunray Egg. It's all pretty damn good versus Tiny. However, into Silencer, right? It does feel like the Silencer has a pretty good position in this game versus both the Phoenix and the Pugna. These are like anti-savers, globals that can't get the heals off to protect Nightfall in some situations. So yeah, this should be a lot of fun.
And for Nightfall as well, so the carry Bristle. How does that sort of fit into the meta that we're seeing? Like, is this sort of a concept that you feel VP could really show us the strengths of, against the types of Dota that we've been seeing teams play, or at least most of the teams play?
They're one of the only, if not the only teams playing it. So that is a great question. I mean, just something that they really like to play. Nightfall might just feel very comfortable on it with the team. It's a curious one to me, because I'm not too sure why they are liking it so much. I mean, sure, they've been dominant on it, but then why is nobody else doing the same kind of strategy? So, and I mean, it's also Silencer, right? So,
but that's the thing. He's going to have something to dispel, right? Otherwise, these fights, surely the damage, the duration, it adds up. It's not going to be fun spamming your spells when you've been arcane cursed.
No, definitely not. They have 2 Lotus Orb buyers, at least 3 Lotus Orb buyers on their team, maybe even more than that. They could even prioritize one on the Razor, even the Bristle himself. So we'll probably see 2-3 Lotus Orbs coming out because Phoenix is going to want one, Pugna's going to want one, Bristle's probably wants one. So we'll see that in time. And yeah, I'm really just going to be glancing at mid to see if Ori is one of the big playmakers for me, for Vici, and when he starts to have a bit of a rough game at times, I feel like their game gets even slower than it usually is. They are more of a slow team, and looking at the lane already, 10-6 on the Razor,
GPK.
3-1.
As we said on paper, it's a tough matchup, and GPK, he is completely abusing that. 11 for 7 against the 3-4-1. Top lane DY. Is he going to tick out here? He's going to burn pretty low, but not quite enough. Salves at the ready. He'll be able to keep himself in the lane. In fact, Kingslayer. He's going to get chased down by Old 11 again, though not quite enough damage. As both team supports will stay in the lane and alive.
Was that Fairy Fire making them both survive? I'm pretty sure it was. I think the Silencer used one earlier, and then the Phoenix had 2, so he used one when he was getting gone on. So Fairy Fire saved lives.
Now he's looking down bottom at the moment for both cores. DM, 12 for 1 here. On the off lane, Poyo-Yo, 14, 15 for 1. So both cores trading farm quite nicely down here. Side lanes, both supports trying to play around here. Save comes over around the attempt pull. Needs to set up around the camp. Top lane, Old 11, he's going to get the skewer back.
Okay.
Pretty deep, at least get a tower hit or 2, and then he does. Nightfall getting a little too close to that dangerous area where Old 11's able to pull him in and set him up underneath the tower for that extra damage.
That's why we're seeing the Magnus picked so much, really. Just so powerful in any lane.
You got to be careful.
Yep. That's always something scary for Bristleback too, even like, let's say in the later stages of the game too. Bristol is a tanky hero, but sometimes you feel a little bit deceptive because you feel so tanky, but let's say you get completely pulled out of position. It's gonna change the way that your saves are looking to play, because then the Pugna has to get out of position, the Phoenix as well to try to protect you. So yeah, could see a lot of those skewers really injure the Bristle a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. Nightfall's got to be careful on these early levels. Playing anywhere near to the tower there, as Old 11 will be very quick to take advantage of that.
DY will help out mid. Ori gonna check the rune for him and also fill up his bottle. His body as well.
Mid lane, he's starting to catch up now, Ori.
Yeah.
It's sort of this sort of pace now where GPK has been sort of visiting the jungle a little bit, looking towards neutrals as well. It's giving Ori a bit more of a chance to close that gap here.
It's just still such a challenge. He can't even walk out. Yeah, the poor guy. Ori's just like, all right, well, I just have to tank this, you know. I'm getting my levels, and that's kind of the most important thing he has to do at this point. Rest of the lanes are going well, as we mentioned for Vici.
Poyo, feeling rather confident down here. DM on his own doesn't really pose too much of a threat against the Tiny, especially with the support sort of beginning to drift away from that bottom lane.
PYW though is eating quite a lot of harassment.
Same if he gets another blast in, it's going to be close, but PYW just enough HP to get out of harm's way. Top lane, Old 11 trying to get it onto Kingslayer, not going to be the case, and it's getting to the stage now where this top lane, now the levels are in, level 4 on Nightfall, they've got to be very careful about how they extend him for Kingslayer, as Nightfall will be able to turn around any drawn-out engagement between the two lanes here.
Yep. A little bit of a mistake there from DY, not layering the curse in the last word properly though, so you can get that extra damage. Did mess it up a bit there on Kingslayer. Supports. Looking to check runes a bit more here. Save even looking to play around mid. Guess feeling that he doesn't need to help DM too much in the bottom lane since we are seeing so many support rotations. PYW hasn't really been playing the lane too much. And speaking of PYW, we didn't really touch too much on the Snapfire this game. Of course, a super popular hero that's been getting picked up more and more, but also a lot of uses in this game. Little Shredder can always be pretty decent versus Bristleback, of course. You know, a little bit of extra minus armor when he's lacking in the early game, but of course, versus Phoenix and versus Pugna, it's going to be quite useful. The Little Shredder versus the Pugna Ward versus the Egg, but also even just Mortimer Kisses versus a hero that does get decrepified in later stages. So PYW should have a pretty good overall game if he's able to actually position himself properly.
Absolutely, we're going to have to see some very careful placements here of both of those spells to,
for sure,
to sort of force Vici Gaming to spend time finding them and getting that setup indeed for the Snapfire.
Ori's completely caught up. He's actually only 50 gold behind the Razor.
And this is pretty impressive. What's the XP looking like though between them? Was halfway through level 6 on Ori, and then GPK still about a level ahead. So he's picking it up, but as you say, the recovery, it has been there for Ori after a very tough first few waves in the matchup. You know, this is quite clearly something that he's had to deal with quite a lot of times before. The man's got quite a few games on the Void Spirit. He's almost certainly bumped into Razor, quite a large number of them.
GPK is looking to make that first move bottom. Haste rune.
Oh, here we go. See if he's able to get the chase down onto Poyo. How will Vici Gaming react? Poyo turn with a quick avalanche, trying to hold GPK back, but GPK is able to maintain the connection of the static link. He's into the trees, that Poyo, and it's pretty deep, but GPK's got the damage. The maxed out plasma field's able to reach in, burst him down. A successful rotation here for the Razor.
And successful rotation from the supports earlier from VP to secure that haste rune for GPK. Ori did not choose to even make the counter move though, since it is a hasted Razor. He's just like, whatever, I need to catch up my game. Razor's going to look to gank on the side lanes. He's going to get some big benefit from it, but yeah, I'm catching back up. I'm hitting mid tower a little bit too. So.
No, for sure. I looked at the time as well. I'm not quite sure what he used it for earlier, but both of his Astral Steps were on cooldown.
Okay, so just maybe pushing lanes.
Yeah.
Or farming some stack or something.
I think so, yeah. Which did mean he wasn't quite in the shape that maybe could have turned up to that bottom lane.
And we are seeing, like Insania mentioned, it's dire. Stacks, stacks, stacks. Kingslayer is already starting the triangle. This, not the usual triangle, but it is warded. So Vici is going to be aware. They are
And
Like, they know what's happening.
I mean, with Empower and Astral Step, they could take these pretty quickly. Ori's in.
Super quick. He's DD room as well.
Yeah, this is, well, there we have it. I think pretty much every creep won't go to Kingslayer. Ori will die for it.
Okay.
I mean, this may be worth though. That's a lot of effective golden XP that you do take away from VP there with that move. I mean, sure, you die at the end of it all, but that was at least a triple stack you're taking out of the hands of Nightfall.
Yeah, it's a trade. I mean,
it's a trade.
The thing is, the Razor they get a big chunk of experience on the support and the Razor, and then he's off the map now for quite some time, so they can split up. So
okay, so you think that VP they're like,
I don't think
whatever.
VP's like whatever. Like we got the kill. Bristleback's still able to get some of these stacks anyway.
GPK is already on his way down bottom again. Maybe seeing if DM can find a setup. And they're going to set up with the slam. TPs are coming in, but GPK, he's just going right in underneath the tower. He's going to miss the blast here. GPK just standing tall on top of Poyoyo. Poyoyo will fall. PYW, he's going to be in trouble as well. Finally, the fissure ends, so he tries to get out of there, but the damage has been done. GPK, again with these movements down bottom, making big plays. Now the counterplay comes in. Ori jumps over towards GPK. They'll take out the Razor. He's got his eyes set now onto the Shaker as well. An attempted TP out will be successful. DM makes it back to base.
Is just a number.
Crisp rotations coming all around. 2 to 4. Poyoyo is definitely struggling. But Ori does make the nice rotation, especially with DY rotating around. He did not have the point in glaives yet, so no int. But we are seeing these constant moves around the map, looking like both teams looking to get support levels, especially VP. They actually have the Pugna sitting mid for quite some time and the Phoenix up top, so their support should be a bit better off on those levels, since we did see, of course, PYW die down bottom. But it is very close on levels.
It is. There's some good Dota here so far from both squads.
Yeah, quite even, really. DM's gone for a bit of a different approach in the offlane that I've seen from lately. I've seen most of the time it's just like the 1 or 2 max points in Fissure, and then when they're offlane, they've been putting more points in the Enchant Totem and Aftershock. 3 points is the key, of course, for that Aftershock, so you can get the good combo play with your Echo Slam. But yeah, opting for more points in Fissure, I guess, because his supports have no stuns.
I think that's what it is, right?
I think that just has to be what it is. So
he needs to have that long lockdown.
Yep. That definitely makes sense as to why he's done it. And he's going to have a pretty good timing on that Blink Dagger. And, you know, we talked about VP speed and aggression. Again, looking to make the move bottom, GPK, as well as save.
Yeah, they are, once again.
They're spotted.
Same time top lane. Kingslayer's going to get gone upon. Vici are able to get the kill up top. DY's going for the TP out. He's able to make it away from them. So they won't find anything down here this time round with the movement, but they can look to put some pressure onto the tower. Fortification's already been used. They're pushing in with the catapult wave. VP, they should be able to get this tier 1 away, but at the same time, Vici, they've already got the top tier 1 tower, so able to make that move and push happen a little bit quicker than VP is themselves.
Both teams mirroring each other's movements quite identically, honestly. The Tiny was farming Ancients while Bristleback went to go farm Ancients too. It's very similar stuff coming out. We just do see Vici, I think, that has a little bit better of information. They also blocked out Ancients.
See Ori, and he's trying to get out to GPK. They're actually committing with the kisses as well.
A lot of damage.
The silence coming out. GPK, is he actually able to escape from this? Only just.
Is he?
GPK will get out. They'll heal him up a bit as well. Save here with the drain to keep his HP topped up. PYW is still hunting in the trees. Actually found DM. DM rather low here, but still they're backing away from it. They're aware, you know, Echo Slam is up. They don't want to fight right underneath the nose of the Earthshaker.
Yeah, quite a bit of ults. Egg also available, and we do see save. This is why they picked that Pugna, to keep their cores healthy, to keep them on the map. GPK, in normal situations, he would have had to gone back to base. But look, Pugna just full healed him up. He can actually keep his presence on the map, keep pressuring this tower that they weren't able to get before.
Of course, all this pressure is completely taking any attention away from the Bristleback. Nightfall having the whole jungle to himself. Halfway through on the Aghanims. For Poyoyo also, things looking very nice in the farm department. Pretty much even there on both carries right now in terms of what they're getting out of the map. As this game, 12 minutes in, continues to be incredibly close here. Both teams, after a pretty much identical start.
I think Vici has to be pretty happy with this, with the way that their lineup does scale with like that Magnus, with that Tiny to later stages. I think after this, yeah, they have to be quite happy. VP, I do believe they want to set that pace, but they're going to wait for that timing. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the BKB Razor, the Ags on that Bristleback, and then they're going to look to hit real hard. But they're not slowing down yet still anyway, because they do have a blink on Shaker. Still looking to be active, still looking to claim a bit more tower advantage, because like I said, I don't think that they're happy with the state of the game right now. I think they wanted to get a little bit more out of the laning phase.
So we're definitely feeling it with the frequency that GPK is just over here on this bottom half of the map.
Well, I mean, with what you're playing against versus this Magnus and everything, he has to. You're a Razor. You know, you don't want to start to fall behind at all as this hero. You always want to stay ahead in that net worth.
Will start to show himself mid, and it does seem Vici Gaming doing a good job of avoiding getting caught by the jump from DM.
And they're continuing to farm like really well. Even PYW seem like just jungling. Has the Snapfire. He's already got his medallion. Yeah, both sides, like I said, getting quite a lot out of the map.
Old 11 progress for him, 1500 on towards his blink.
Yep.
The next big timing for him, and it will make things a little more hard for sort of VP. When you look at their 3 cores, all wanting to get in the front of the fight. If they're not aware of Old 11's positioning, there's a high chance he will be able to come in with some big RP counterplays in these team fights.
And they have global too, so they can pick and choose their battles really nicely. They can also look to disengage if they see a bad fight, or they can just stop egg. That's always going to be one big thing that they see. You know, you see the Phoenix diving in, you can just get these eggs off most of the time. And with the new Yules picked up on Ori, as well as an Arcane Rune, they're going to look to get active. Seeing this Pugna pushing down the bottom lane.
They might actually get the jump on DM here. DM, he's not going to expect them coming in from this angle. The Remnant's actually off the mark though. DM, he knows with the Remnant missing, he's going to try for the TP out, but PYW is there to turn up and put a stop to the escape with the cookie. See them try and go for Old 11 top. He's got a TP, anything to stop it? No, there is not. Old 11 makes it out.
If there's no Shaker there, I think Vici's going to start recognizing. No stuns on VP if he's not, so just can quickly TP out in most situations.
And as we saw, same not to be said for VP, trying to get out there after a missed Remnant, but Vici Gaming, they've got many more ways to put a stop to those kind of escapes.
Yeah, they even had the Yules in case of anything if PYW wasn't there, so definitely lots of different ways to set up. And still looking to get aggressive, checking out the Ancients. Now finally getting a small gold lead on the side of Vici because of the way they've been able to move around. But 200 gold. And that's when I'd imagine we see a huge increase in pace from VP. They've been still trying to make these, you know, 2-man plays, 3-man plays perhaps around the map, but yeah, BKB and Aghanims is going to come out, and I assume they just either look for a fight or just walk into the pit and force some action from Vici.
Oh, you think they might go straight for the Roche before one of the extra tier 1 towers? Now, like, bottom? They're going to jump in, but the Global is going to break the combo completely. And now Ori, he's just going to go jump back over towards Save, cut down the Pugna. And yeah, well, this is going to be hard to make moves. Anytime the Global's up, you know DY, he'll be ready to respond in an instant with the Global silence.
That's always the scary thing about like making moves. That's why I thought perhaps, you know, maybe they force some type of ultimate, some type of weird fight, and then they go straight for that Roshan, and the timing's there. So Nightfall's got it.
He's going to look to get the jump in onto DY, and DY, he has been caught a little too close to the rest of them. Not quite able to back up in time with the rest of the team. DY getting caught out a little bit there as he, I guess just wasn't quite prepared for VP to come straight back on the map and come down there. Now it's their kill onto Save. Mid lane Nightfall starting to show himself now on the other side of the map. He's ready to turn up and go, as you say, with the Aghanims complete. See what sort of moves VP can make around them. They don't have the Echo Slam, but they do still have the Supernova.
Something I think, oh, wait a second here, as 11 will get away, but something that I think that they might have to also watch out for is Aether Remnant turns Bristle back around. So they can actually make him face their team. Whenever they do get their timing as well with the Tiny when he feels like he can fight, he's getting closer and closer towards Silver Edge. There's going to be quite a lot of ways for them to perhaps deal with the Bristleback.
No, for sure, yeah. If he gets turned into a full combo from the Tiny from Poyo-Yo, it's going to hurt still.
Yeah. Vici really looking to set this defense around this mid tower.
And she's going to go straight to work him with the kisses. As the dive comes out, but he is, maybe with the heals should save. No, it's not enough. The damage is done. Kingslayer to fall as they try and fight, but this nice ward here from Vici Gaming, giving them this great vision to stop VP from trying to make these moves. They know that VP, with the way they've been playing on the bottom half of the map, they're going to try and come and approach the mid lane from this angle. Their vision is there ready to prepare for that exactly.
And they went the Veil as well early on. DY gets it at as a 5 position. That's a very good timing for his Veil. He has good damage, and as we see there, you know, this is one of the reasons why Silencer has always been sought after versus Phoenix. Most of the time, you know, you're still not going to click the dive, but he did click the dive, so you come right back. The last word will always bring you back to that position, of course. 2K lead. And that was, as we mentioned, a bit of VP's timing. Now they have the BKB finished on the Razor, so they smoke up again, still looking for that fight. Echo up in 10.
Yep.
They really want to persist for this
they have to, as you say. You know, if they're not making the hits now, Vici Gaming are likely to run away with this match as the minutes pass.
Absolutely.
VP's got to get something done right now. See what they can get around the mid. And they're trying to look at the one point, a bit split up really. Kingslayer and Nightfall, they've gone to find the mid. The egg is going to be taken down. Nightfall's looking for POW. I mean, this is a completely split up play. The rest of VP, they're trying to get it onto POW. They will get the kill on the Tiny. Nightfall, he has been left to fend on himself, but it's okay. He's still very much big enough and tanky enough that Vici Gaming couldn't really deal with him. So a split up fight there that VP forced, but it ends up working out. They get the tower, and they are able to take down Poyo-Yo, whilst the rest of Vici Gaming's trying to deal with the two members of VP.
Nightfall, he's got a lot of Arcane Curse stacked up on him.
So with a jump forward, old 11. Quick skewer back and a jump over with the Astral Step. Nightfall will pop.
I'm surprised he just walked in like that. He kept spamming his quills as well, too. With the Arcane Curse, he gets the last word put on him, the Veil. It's a lot of damage. It does start to build up until you do get ways to dispel it.
And how close are they to any of those? Are we seeing anything come soon?
Not really, no. They're very far away.
That's true.
Your anger is useless.
He's going to go for his own BKB instead, so his teammates will have to get that Lotus Orb to protect him, but Vici's got to be real happy with the pace of the game. Even though they did lose their Tiny a few times, like Ori's almost got an Aghanim done on Void Spirit.
No, for sure. I mean, yeah.
Now it's more silences to deal with inside the fights too, as TM.
They're going to use the global. In fact, Ori's going to look to use that coverage of the global to turn things around onto DM.
Oh boy.
Very nicely done here by Vici Gaming, and it really was, as you say, they lose Tiny, but the fact that they do end up getting Nightfall at the end of it all pretty much makes that whole move for VP completely redundant. As Vici Gaming just continuing to grow this lead, and VP, I mean, it really does seem like they are going to just have to continue to try and fight, but every little mistake and misplay, it just means that the preceding fight is going to be so much harder. It's just not getting any easier against Vici Gaming, and the only way they can come back in is by looking to turn up for the brawl.
Yeah, I mean, they already have Silver Edge done. The Tiny's online pretty much. He's got the 2 items done. VP, they did hit that 1 item timing that BSJ was mentioning on the panel there, but I think Vici's so happy with this game. Aghanims is done for Ori. They've got Silver Edge on Tiny. He's going to be able to buy Shard soon. Everyone is pretty damn online. I think VP's in some trouble unless they start making some big plays happening soon.
They've got to have a big move come out next. Here we have it. Smoke up. How long until the Echo Slam? Not quite up yet.
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
It is a level 1 Echo, and he's about to hit 12. So usually you want to wait for that 12 because you get that 20 seconds removed and quite a bit more damage. But I don't think he can wait for it.
There's no global for a minute. So that's something. They're going to jump DY. In fact, just dropping the Echo on him. Get rid of that pesky silencer.
Okay. So is that like them trying to get an option open for Roche?
I mean, if Nightfall's ready to go for it.
The Kisses are down 2 for 30. They want another kill before they try for it.
It looks like they do. DM. Looking for the lead in, but Vici Gaming are careful. Play it right back in fact. Now old 11, he's ready to step up. RP is online again.
They've got the Silver Edge. Nightfall.
I mean, they're in. DM is going to try and lead him, but immediately getting caught out by the silence. Jump over to the side. Ori looking to take down DM, and with the help of old 11 and his skewer, they should be able to do so. DM ripped into position as they take him out. That's DM gone. DY back in the game now. VP having a fight 4v5 if they want to keep this going. Nightfall and GPK, they're thinking about returning to the action. They're back in. They're on top of DY. DY has been caught on the front, but the Yules will hold him back. Jump forward. Old 11. RP gets him right underneath the tower. Catches GPK. Raising a full.
And might even get more. They turn him around with the Remnant.
They get the grab. There's the Silver Edge hit. Toss up Poyo-Yo. The damage not quite enough immediately, but Nightfall, he's falling ever so low. Save will be able to top him off slightly, but it's just the 3 of them, Kingslayer, Save, and Nightfall, having to go on the retreat right now.
Oh, VP is struggling. They can't get the catches they want. They can't go for the plays either because they only have 1 stun. They only have, well, 1 stun from the Shaker. He's the only one who's really got the actual disables. They catch the Tiny on the left side of the fight. He's linked up. He just TPs and resets the fight, comes back in afterwards. VP tries to catch up to the rest of the team. A global comes out. It's really hard for them to get into these fights successfully, especially if they don't have the Echo Slam. DM, I think, has to be a little more patient. I don't think he can waste an Echo on a silencer in these situations, especially not the 5.
I think he just feels that he has to, as you say, because of the fact there's nothing really else to initiate with. It's hard.
Sure is. And like we mentioned, the game for the supports, it's all about those Lotus Orbs versus the Global, but as we mentioned, Ori having such a good game, they've got so many different forms of silence now. He's got the double pulse as well that he can play around with the Globals post after they use the Lotus Orb on themselves. Still only a 4K lead, but VP, you can feel that they definitely wanted to be in a better position now. But with these ultis on cooldown, walking into the pit.
I mean, they're looking at the Roche. They're going to try and give it a shot here.
Should kill it fast. And without kisses are down for 15.
Yeah, Vici Gaming's a little split up. Jump forward, DY, he's going to actually get caught. This is the perfect way to start the fight. Silencer is out of action.
It's a big grab. They're still smoked, waiting for an
They
opportunity.
still want to try and make the steal here, Vici Gaming.
Kisses in 2.
They're going to try for it, surely. As there's the buyback, jump forward for Ori, the Supernova coming out from the side. Roshan, it will die to VP and Aegis into the hands of Nightfall. At the same time, they get on the high ground, 5 PYW. Ori, he's trapped in the river. He's going to use himself up for now. By the time to get the Dissimulate off, can he jump to safety? He can. We'll get over to the side for save. He's there with the Decrepify. They run down the Void Spirit. Ori, he will fall. 3 dead. Vici Gaming Poyo will manage to TP out. But VP, they come back with a mighty punch in this game, getting the Roche, Aegis secured. And now Vici, they're having to run. DY brought back for this. They'll be able to kill him off again as VP have managed to battle themselves back into the game.
Exactly what they needed too. As soon as they saw that even the Silencer buyback, they just popped their ults. I saw even the Phoenix Kingslayer just instantly pops Egg, even though it's in an awkward pit. It's just to secure the Roshan and DM. Very nice Fissure. The Echo Slam as well, catches the Snapfire. Fissure blocks off Ori, causes disarray amongst Vici. Very nice to get an executed fight, which they needed to get themselves back into a comfortable position in this game.
Absolutely, as you say, DM definitely putting in the heavy work here. This is the thing, he said, well, we don't need any more stuns. I'm going to get everything done myself. And when he's making moves like this, even managed to block off the more elusive heroes for the most part, like the Void Spirit. And maybe things are in safe hands here for VP around DM's Shaker.
And now they're starting to get these Lotus Orbs up. Kingslayer's got his finished, and I think that's probably the only one, actually. They're going to have a BKB for the Bristleback to cover himself versus the Arcane Curse, too. So Silencer's effectiveness will definitely start to dwindle.
VP. We want to keep the action going. Nightfall ready to lead the charge down the mid. Quick poke of the mid lane.
With BKB, he's quite unkillable.
Yeah, now he's good to go.
Unless he gets pulled very far out of position, even then,
he can battle his way out.
Yeah,
he can put that BKB charge back to safety. He'll make it.
And without Global, they can't stop the heals. Of course, that's going to be coming out from that Max Sunray as well as the life drain from Save.
Vici Gaming trying to set up here. Hold 11. Yo around DY. They're using DY as the bait. They know that VP are going to want to go for him, and they are. Nightfall straight in onto the silencer by DY. Pretty much dying in a few hits. BKB popped by Nightfall. There's no jump they can make back onto this Bristol as VP get in at a swift execution right underneath the tier 2 tower that Vici Gaming as a team can't do anything to stop.
Poyoyo had just used the Silver Edge hit too on a creep right in front of him too. So as soon as they saw that, Bristol was like, okay, I have a free run across. He had to pop the BKB just in case, but does get a kill. Let's see if Vici looks to make any type of move while that is down. They're pinging up top, but that's GPK. So maybe expecting them to make a move onto him. And VP all just swinging together. Again, another smoke.
A little bit of a window here. 10 seconds, no silence. So when DY's back up though, the Global will be ready to go.
Scan is right on top of Poyoyo.
They know where they are. On the low ground now, coming in from the river with the jump onto the high ground. The Global Silence comes out immediately in response. Supernova's out. They'll look to take it out. PYW is able to get the hits in. They bring down the egg. DM lays down the Fissure, getting the angle onto both PYW and Old 11. PYW taken out from the low ground. GPK gets the kill.
Holy damage.
Moving up to the high ground is a little risky now. They get the grab. RP for Old 11 drags back GPK. GPK will go for the BKB, try and get away from this. He's got decent movement speed, but Ori jumps in. Or's Astral Step blocks him off. 4 dead on VP, as they knew where Vici Gaming were. They hit the scan, they were charging up the river, but they ended up in this position where Vici Gaming, they sort of surrounded them from the high ground points, and it was a very hard fight for VP to take when they're in that sort of very confined area between the Roche pit and the triangle.
And the team can't get to where DM actually blinks onto high ground, Echo slams the Magnus, but his team had just got hit by like an 1100 crit from the Tiny, also Avalanche combo, and they were stuck in the river. They couldn't get to where the Earthshaker was. Very split up fight for VP. Huge advantage for Vici off of that one. Also, I've been watching this. They're keeping the Alpha Wolf with the Tiny the entire time this game.
I like it.
They've had the dominated Alpha Wolf just sticking with them. So look at his damage. I mean, plus 362. Those are without, that's like 760 damage without a crit from the Silver Edge.
Absolutely. DD Zero on Nightfall the rest move. They have got vision on this Tiny. Nightfall. See if he can chase down Poyoyo.
He's holding BKB.
He is. He's still got ways to get out of there. Cookie as well. Jumps him back to safety. They keep it cool. Vici Gaming. Or he's actually looking for the wraparound on the back lines. Jumps in straight away on to save. The kiss is coming out from the high ground. That's one down.
Goodness.
The break hit. He immediately has to put the BKB and run. Nightfall's got to get out of there. DM's going to go down. Nightfall will manage to TP out. But another fight where VP are just a little unprepared there. Ori this time coming in from the river. They weren't ready for him to catch them on the retreat and just kick off that fight as aggressively as Vici Gaming were able to do so.
And the damage from Poyoyo, he 2/3 of the HP from the bristleback. Just from one swing, but the Echo Saber crit, of course, from this overedge.
That's so much.
That is problematic, as we said, for VP.
7K lead now, back for Vici Gaming. That
And
sort of old Roshan escapade that the VP were able to hit back with. Nothing more than a distant memory here in this game as Vici Gaming back with full control.
And look, the Alpha Wolf again. It's just sticking with Poyoyo. Empower plus Alpha Wolf looks pretty balanced on Tiny. Look at this. He almost two-shotted a bristleback.
Yeah.
That was without the Alpha Wolf, where two is still up top.
I mean, what do you do? What do you do against it?
He's definitely going to need some armor on the bristle, because right now I still only see him with like 14. So I think he's got to get a little bit more to counteract some of that damage. He is just going straight for S and Y for the time being, but really needs that plate mail soon.
Bottom lane, Vici Gaming ready to start pushing in themselves. They know their strength right now. Quick poke at the tower and then a backup and smoke. See if they can catch VP whilst they're split up across the map again.
They got global again. Every single time that they've had global, or almost every time they've had global, the fight has gone successful in their favor. Poyoyo leading the charge.
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
Oh yeah,
they're in the RP, and there's the damage for Poyoyo. A few swipes, and VP4 global comes down. Skew over from on level 1293 damage crit there. GPK the only one making it out. But my goodness, they get the setup here and allow Tiny to just follow it up. Poyoyo, they're just crumbling in the palm of his hand here, VP.
This is just so much damage that he does end up getting from all of this. And that was the bristle, by the way. Two-shotted, or three-shotted by the cleave. And the global again to cover, perfectly coming out from DY, so there's not even any follow-up that VP can go for. 12K lead now for Vici. Having a firm grasp of this game.
How do they stop this Tiny?
Look at this again. Just a perfect one. Beautiful RP, no hesitation from 11. They're just dead. I mean, they're dead in the RP.
2 hits, one hit's half the HP, really. It really is. And running, that's not an option either. These trees just come in, tossed at you from a mile off, and the damage is done. That splash will just decimate anyone caught in the area.
And it's surprising that Poyoyo can just walk up like that and just find the opportunity. VP not prepared with an Obs and Sentry Ward or anything like that. Have lost full control of the game with their early game draft.
And they had that chance to regain things around that Roshan and Aegis pickup.
They're going to have to try to get it again. That's the one thing. It's like VP, they have to try to get some type of successful fight while Global is down. They have 20 seconds to try to find it, and hope to God for them that they find a Roshan afterwards. They have 1 minute and 50 seconds until it does respawn, and there's already a Dominator creep waiting in the pit for Vici. Vici's already knows, too. They're backing up quickly. DY in a super defensive position. 11
jump straight in Echo. Old 11, he's going to be the one to be caught. Has got buyback available, though, if he feels necessary.
Poyoyo's thinking about GPK in the bottom lane.
Ori as well. Look, again, coming in from this angle, always sort of keeping VP sandwiched between the rest of his team and himself.
GPK.
Be able to back up to the safety of his teammates, or at least the relative safety.
He's got to bail out. Only 700 HP, has to get healed up. Global back online. 50 seconds, though, for Magnus, and as we said, still 70 seconds on that Roshan. Again, Alpha Wolf will go back to check the pit. And a DD rune is inside of Ori's bottle.
VP trying to get control of this area. It's not going to be easy. And as it looks, they're not going to have to use the buyback here on Old 11. He will be back up in time. 40 seconds still, so Get an update on that Roshan.
I actually like that Kingslayer went for he picked it up about like 2 minutes ago, but picked up a pretty early gem. I think they're starting to feel the game's getting a little out of control. They have to know exactly where the Tiny is in all situations. They have to know when there's any vision on them, because if VP doesn't start the fight with Bristleback charging in, Razor linking, and it's actually Vici who starts it, I think the fights are just going to easily be Vici's every single time. So they have to have a good vision, good control of vision in this game to be able to get those initial jumps.
I think the discussions being had between VP on when and what they want to do with the next move. It's they're running out of plans here. It's not an easy game to swing back.
Everything's up for Vici. Vici wants to take the fight now themselves. There's no Echo Slam on DM for some time. They should know that.
I mean, if they do look to try and take a team fight, VP, they know that they don't find DY. DY really will turn it all around with the press of a button.
I mean, the Tiny's just going to two-shot people, and he's just so farmed at this point. He's almost 2 items ahead of the next person. They have full Satanic against Hyperzone. They're just taking the Roche themselves.
I mean, VP's not going to be able to do anything about that.
It's already dead.
They're not going to be able to do anything about that. Roshan will fall in a matter of seconds here to Vici Gaming.
And Old 11, who has not purchased a shard, even though we saw it prioritized so much in the first series of the day, how good this Magnus shard was, he didn't buy it, and now he's got one given to him for free after he picks up his own individual items with the Aether Lens, the Blink, the BKB. So even more of a threat, really, for the Bristleback, just this instant catch into Skewnerming out of position. VP has to be so cautious in these next few moments.
I mean, is there any sort of chance for VP's lineup from a high ground perspective, as it seems like anything out on the map is at this stage is almost becoming impossible?
It's starting to feel not like there's not really too much of an answer. It has to be some unbelievable positioning, really, from the Phoenix and the Pugna, and just like Razor has to have some full link. This Razor and Bristle need to have some insane start to the fight.
Oh,
that's Poyoyo.
He's found them.
He gets the start.
He's able to walk in, start things off on a DM. That's the Shaker gone. GPK past the BKB, starts to get the Sally Link going. Save trying to heal him up here from the side. Nightfall looking to charge in. The BKB, the RP, they'll control the Bristleback. Global popped out. You see Ori jumping with the Astral Steps over to GPK. He's able to pop the Razor. As GPK goes down, Save trying to turn a shot back with the Scatter Blast. PYW cookies in on top of him to crush the Pugna's life.
Far too much damage on Vici. The Razor gets what, almost a full link? Tiny doesn't care about link because he just keeps wailing you right through. And Ori, as we mentioned, 8-2 and 10. Even though he had a bit of a rough lane in the game, he's had an excellent one. He was 5-1 and 10, 5-1 and 6 before, now 8-2 and 10. One of the next few times you look at him, and the damage you do is pretty crazy as Void Spirit. Even with Empower, sure, you're mostly magical, but you still hit pretty hard.
Old 11. He's managed to get the jump in. Nightfall trying to get back to safety. The break and see. Cookie forward on a Poyo. Toss up. Have they got the damage? Yes, they certainly do. As Nightfall out of the game, 90 seconds, no buyback on the Bristle. This bottom rack's not going to stand a chance, of course, against the hard hits of Poyo. This is to take, and Vici Gaming, they can go for much more here. It's a long, long time with no carry up for VP.
This definitely feels like game over, right? It's 70 seconds still. There's a Tiny on the team. I think they can probably take all of it. Might be one more standard defense here that comes out from VP, but they did not ever hit their timing, it feels like, this game.
AC complete on Poyo as well. Have to jump forward. Old 11 not quite able to get a grab here, and VP will be able to push them back a little bit, but the Aegis is still there. Quick use of the Satanic gets a good bit of the HP up for Poyo.
That was a weird glyph, though.
And nobody was even hitting the racks at the time. But as it is, glyph now gone.
Fisher?
It's a good fish shot.
It's a really good one.
They get a good link up. They'll be able to take Poyo down the once. And they do it a second time out of the side. DM BKB's not going to help him against the physical. As DM will fall. They're doing their best though. They are managing to keep them off this mid racks for now. And all things said and done, this mid set's still standing. Poyo is going to look to try and put an end to that though. Steps back into Crepify. Not going to do anything at all there.
Instantly removes the Decrep with the Satanic, finishes off that Rax, and 26k gold lead. Just continue to look harder and harder for this Bristle and Razor to do much of anything.
Yeah, it is.
Even though they've even started like picking up the plate mails and stuff like that, but just the sheer damage that's coming out from Vici is just far too much for VP to hang on to. And yeah, they're saying Silencer is missing, so I'm thinking that they're probably like, damn, this Silencer actually ruined our entire idea of the draft. Because ideally, the way they wanted to play, the way they have throughout the tournament with this Bristleback is he just becomes unkillable because they have these heals that come out, but you can't. Even if you have the Lotus Orbs, it doesn't matter because the initial is going to get stopped. And they just die so fast. And now, speaking of dying fast, there's a DD rune on our Tiny, so yeah. He's going to be hitting for over 1,000, critting for 1,900, just about.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt. That's... Yeah, well, good luck to VP in the next team fight.
Maybe they blow up Ori.
Let's see what they can do.
Uh-oh.
There's the global. He comes out from TI10. They'll see if they can lock down Ori. You got Poyo already coming in for the side. Ori's going to be able to get out there to jump. Mortal Evident with a 3-man RP. Poyo lays down the damage. Nightfall trying to run. Heal for a 1,700 damage hit coming out there to end Nightfall's life. GG called. Vici Gaming, this first game of the series. It's all there.